Let me ask you this. What if I told you that the difference between being average and being exceptional has nothing to do with talent, nothing to do with luck, and nothing to do with who you know? What if I told you that excellence is not some mysterious gift that only a chosen few possess, but rather a simple set of principles that anyone can learn and apply? Most people believe that to do something exceptionally well, you need to be born with some special gift. They think you need natural talent, the right genes, or some kind of magic touch that separates the pros from everyone else. Well, let me share with you what I've learned after years of studying successful people. And it might surprise you. The truth is, excellence has very little to do with being a natural. In fact, some of the most exceptional people I've met started as complete beginners, just like you and me. They weren't blessed with extraordinary abilities. They didn't have famous teachers or unlimited resources. What they had was something much more powerful and much more available to all of us. They had the right philosophy about what it takes to become exceptional. Now here's what separates the exceptional from the average. It's not what they were born with. It's what they decided to do with what they had. You see, most people approach any new skill or challenge with what I call the amateur mindset. They want results fast. They avoid the hard parts, and they quit when things get difficult. But exceptional people, they approach everything with a different set of rules. They understand something that amateurs miss completely. They understand that excellence is not a destination you arrive at one day. Excellence is a way of doing things. It's a standard you set for yourself in everything you touch. Whether you're learning to cook, starting a business, raising children, or mastering any craft, the principles of excellence remain the same, and here's the beautiful part. These principles work for anyone willing to apply them. I've watched people with no background in business become millionaires. I've seen people who could barely speak in public become powerful speakers. I've witnessed individuals with no artistic training create beautiful works of art. The difference wasn't their starting point. The difference was their commitment to doing things exceptionally well, even when they were just beginners. You see, most people have it backwards. They think they need to be good first, then they'll start doing excellent work. But that's not how it works. You start doing excellent work first with whatever skills you have right now, and then you become good. Excellence is a choice you make in this moment, not a reward you earn later. Think about this for a moment. Every master was once a beginner. Every expert was once a complete amateur. But here's what they did differently. They refused to think like amateurs. From day one, they approached their craft with the seriousness and dedication of a professional. They didn't wait until they got better to start caring about quality. They cared about quality from the very first day, and that's what made them better. Now let me share with you the 4 pillars that will transform you from amateur to exceptional in anything you choose to pursue. These aren't theories or fancy concepts. These are practical principles that work every single time for every single person who applies them consistently. The first pillar is the power of consistent small actions. Here's something most people don't understand about excellence. It's not built in dramatic moments of inspiration. It's built in the quiet, ordinary moments when nobody's watching. It's built by doing the right things day after day, whether you feel like it or not. Let me tell you about the penny. If I offered you a penny today and promised to double it every day for 30 days, would you take it? Most people wouldn't. They'd rather have $1,000 right now. But let me tell you what happens to that penny. By day 30, it becomes over $5 million. That's the power of consistency, compounding over time. Excellence works the same way. Every day you choose to do something a little better than yesterday, you're doubling your penny. Every day you choose to learn something new, to pay attention to details others ignore, to go just a little bit further than required, you're building compound interest in your skills. But here's what stops most people. They can't see the results in the first few days, so they quit. They plant the seed today and want to harvest tomorrow. That's not how excellence works. Excellence requires faith in the process even when you can't see immediate results. The second pillar is learning like your life depends on it. Formal education will make you a living, but self-education will make you exceptional. The moment you stop learning, you start dying. And here's what I've noticed about exceptional people. They're always learning. They read books. They listen to successful people. They ask questions. They pay attention to everything around them. But here's the difference between how amateurs learn and how exceptional people learn. Amateurs learn when they feel like it. They learn when it's convenient. They learn when someone makes them. Exceptional people learn with purpose and intensity. They know that every book they read, every skill they develop, every lesson they learn is an investment in their future excellence. I've seen people transform their entire lives by committing to read just 30 minutes a day. That's less time than most people spend watching television. But over a year, it adds up to over 180 hours of learning. That's like taking 4 college courses. In 5 years, that's like earning a master's degree in life. The third pillar is attention to detail. Here's what I've learned about excellence. Good enough is the enemy of great. Most people are satisfied with good enough, and that's exactly why they remain average. Exceptional people understand that excellence lives in the details that others overlook. When you're learning something new, when you're working on any project, when you're developing any skill, ask yourself this question: what would make this just a little bit better? Then do that, and when you're done, ask the question again. This is how amateurs become professionals. One small improvement at a time. I remember watching a carpenter work on a piece of furniture. He spent 20 minutes sanding a surface that looked perfectly smooth to me. When I asked him why, he said, anyone can make furniture that looks good from across the room, but when someone runs their hand across this wood, they'll feel the difference. That's what separates the craftsman from the amateur. That's the mindset of excellence. You care about things others don't even notice. You set standards that others think are unnecessary. You do work that satisfies you, not just work that satisfies others. The fourth pillar is emotional mastery. Here's something they don't teach you in school. The biggest obstacle to excellence isn't lack of talent or resources, it's your emotions. It's frustration when progress is slow. It's discouragement when you make mistakes. It's impatience when results don't come fast enough. And exceptional people have learned to master their emotions, especially during the learning process. They understand that frustration is part of growth. They know that mistakes are tuition for wisdom. They accept that excellence takes time, and they're willing to invest that time without getting emotional about the process. When you're learning something new, you're going to feel stupid sometimes. You're going to want to quit. You're going to wonder if you're wasting your time. These feelings are normal. What matters is what you do with these feelings. Amateurs let emotions stop them. Exceptional people use emotions as fuel to keep going. Now let me talk to you about practice, because this is where most people get it wrong. They think practice makes perfect, but that's not true. Practice makes permanent. Only perfect practice makes perfect. If you practice the wrong way, you'll become perfectly wrong. Here's what exceptional people understand about practice. It's not about the number of hours you put in. It's about the quality of those hours. 1 hour of focused, purposeful practice is worth more than 10 hours of mindless repetition. When you practice anything, whether it's a skill, a craft, or a way of thinking, you need 3 things. First, you need clear focus on what you're trying to improve. Don't just go through the motions. Identify your weakest area and work specifically on that. Second, you need immediate feedback. You need to know right away whether you're doing it right or wrong. Third, you need to push yourself just beyond your comfort zone. If it's not challenging, it's not improving you. I've seen people practice piano for years without getting better because they kept playing the same easy songs over and over. I've seen people practice public speaking by giving the same comfortable presentation repeatedly. That's not practice. That's just repetition. Real practice is uncomfortable. Real practice forces you to grow. Here's something else about practice that most people miss. You need to practice failing. Yes, you heard that right. Part of becoming exceptional is learning how to fail well, how to recover quickly, and how to learn from every mistake. Amateurs try to avoid failure. Professionals know that failure is data. Every failure teaches you something about what doesn't work. The 10,000 hour rule says you need 10,000 hours to master anything. But here's what they don't tell you. It's not just any 10,000 hours. It's 10,000 hours of the right kind of practice. 10,000 hours of challenging yourself. 10,000 hours of focused improvement. 10,000 hours of learning from your mistakes. You can spend 20,000 hours doing something badly and never get good at it. Or you can spend 1,000 hours doing it with the right approach and make remarkable progress. The quality of your practice matters more than the quantity. And this brings me to something crucial about overcoming the amateur mindset. Amateurs make excuses. Professionals make progress. Let me tell you the most common excuses I hear and why they're keeping people amateur forever. I don't have enough time. Everyone gets the same 24 hours. Exceptional people use their time differently. They understand that time is their most valuable resource, and they invest it in activities that compound over time. I don't have the right resources. Some of the most exceptional people in history started with nothing. They used what they had, they borrowed what they needed, and they created what didn't exist. Resources are helpful, but resourcefulness is essential. I'm too old to start. Colonel Sanders was 62 when he started KFC. Grandma Moses didn't start painting until she was 78. Age is just a number. What matters is how much life you have left, not how much you've already lived. I don't have natural talent. Natural talent is overrated. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And here's the truth about talent. It's not what you're born with. It's what you develop through consistent effort over time. Here's how to think like a professional even when you're just starting out. Professionals have standards. They set the bar high for themselves and they never lower it, even when no one is watching. They understand that how you do anything is how you do everything. When you approach any task, any project, any challenge, ask yourself this question: if I were the best in the world at this, how would I handle it? Then handle it that way. Don't wait until you're the best to start acting like the best. Act like the best, and you'll become the best. Professionals also understand the power of delayed gratification. They're willing to do what others won't do today so they can have what others won't have tomorrow. They invest time in learning when they could be relaxing. They practice when they could be playing. They prepare when they could be procrastinating. Here's something else about professionals. They welcome criticism. Amateurs get defensive when someone points out their mistakes. Professionals get excited because they know that criticism is free coaching. Every person who tells you how to improve is giving you a gift. Let me tell you about the power of preparation. Professionals prepare for everything. They prepare for success and they prepare for failure. They prepare for the expected and they prepare for the unexpected. When opportunity knocks, they're ready. When challenges arise, they're ready. This preparation isn't just about having the right tools or knowledge. It's about having the right mindset. I've watched people miss incredible opportunities simply because they weren't prepared. They had the chance to showcase their skills, but they hadn't practiced enough. They had the chance to meet influential people, but they didn't know what to say. They had the chance to make a great impression, but they hadn't taken care of the details. Don't let this happen to you. Here's another difference between amateurs and professionals. Amateurs wait for inspiration. Professionals create conditions for inspiration. They don't wait to feel motivated. They act themselves into feeling motivated. They understand that discipline creates momentum, and momentum creates motivation. Think about this. When you discipline yourself to do something every day, whether you feel like it or not, something interesting happens. It becomes easier. It becomes automatic. It becomes part of who you are. This is how professionals are made. Not in moments of high emotion or inspiration, but in the quiet moments of consistent discipline. Professionals also understand the importance of environment. They know that excellence is easier in an environment that supports excellence. They surround themselves with people who challenge them to be better. They read books that expand their thinking. They listen to speakers who inspire them to reach higher. They create physical spaces that reflect their commitment to quality. But here's the most important thing about thinking like a professional. Professionals understand that their reputation is built one interaction at a time, one project at a time, one day at a time. Every piece of work you do either adds to your reputation or subtracts from it. There is no neutral. Make sure everything you touch is better because you touched it. Now let me tell you about the compound effect of small improvements. Most people want to make dramatic changes overnight. They want to go from amateur to exceptional in 30 days. But that's not how excellence works. Excellence is built through small, consistent improvements over time. Here's a simple example. If you improve just 1% every day for a year, you'll be 37 times better by the end of the year. Just 1%. That's barely noticeable from day to day, but it's transformational over time. This is the power of compounding in action. But here's what stops most people. They can't see the 1% improvement, so they think it doesn't matter. They want to see dramatic results every day, and when they don't, they quit. Don't make this mistake. Trust the process. Trust the compound effect. Small improvements applied consistently over time create extraordinary results. Every skill you develop, every habit you build, every standard you raise compounds with every other improvement you make. Excellence in one area raises your standards in all areas. When you commit to doing exceptional work, whether it's organizing your desk or preparing a presentation, you're training yourself to be exceptional in everything. This brings me to something I want you to understand about living the excellence standard. Excellence is not something you do occasionally when you feel like it. Excellence is a way of life. It's a philosophy that guides every decision you make, every action you take, every word you speak. When you make excellence your personal philosophy, something magical happens. You stop asking, what's the minimum I can do? And start asking, what's the maximum I can contribute? You stop looking for shortcuts and start looking for ways to add value. You stop doing just enough to get by and start doing enough to stand out. Here's what I've learned about people who live the excellence standard. They sleep better at night because they know they gave their best effort. They have more confidence because they know they can handle whatever comes their way. They have more opportunities because people notice their work and want to be associated with them. But here's the most beautiful part about living the excellence standard. It's not just about the results you achieve. It's about who you become in the process. When you commit to doing everything exceptionally well, you become an exceptional person. And exceptional people live exceptional lives. Think about this for a moment. What would your life look like if you did everything just a little bit better? What if you were just a little bit more thorough in your work? What if you were just a little bit more thoughtful in your relationships? What if you were just a little bit more disciplined in your habits? These small improvements would compound over time into a completely different life. A life of confidence instead of doubt. A life of contribution instead of consumption. A life of significance instead of mediocrity. Here's something else about excellence that most people miss. When you do exceptional work in one area of your life, it improves all areas of your life. Excellence is transferable. The discipline you develop in mastering a skill makes you more disciplined in everything else. The attention to detail you apply to one project improves your attention to detail in all projects. I've seen people transform their entire lives by committing to excellence in just one area. A person who commits to physical fitness develops discipline that improves their work performance. Someone who commits to excellence in their work develops confidence that improves their relationships. Excellence in any area creates a ripple effect that touches everything else. Let me ask you this. What do you want to be remembered for? When people think about you, what do you want them to say? that you were average, that you did just enough to get by, that you had potential but never used it? Or do you want them to say that everything you touched was better because you touched it? Your legacy is not something you think about when you're old. Your legacy is something you're building right now. With every choice you make, every standard you set, every piece of work you complete, make sure it's a legacy you can be proud of. Here's my challenge to you. Starting today, right now, choose one area of your life and commit to doing it exceptionally well. It doesn't matter if you're a beginner. It doesn't matter if you don't have all the resources you think you need. It doesn't matter if you've failed before. But let me be more specific about this challenge. Don't just choose something easy. Choose something that matters. Choose something that if you did it exceptionally well would make a real difference in your life and in the lives of others. Maybe it's how you communicate with your family. Maybe it's how you approach your work. Maybe it's how you take care of your health. Maybe it's a skill you've always wanted to develop. Here's what will happen when you make this commitment. At first it will be hard. You'll want to quit. You'll wonder if it's worth it. But if you stick with it, if you apply these principles consistently, something amazing will begin to happen. You'll start to see results. Small at first, then bigger. More importantly, you'll start to see changes in yourself. You'll develop confidence you never had before. Not false confidence based on wishful thinking, but real confidence based on competence. You'll know you can handle challenges because you've trained yourself to do things well. You'll know you can learn anything because you've proven to yourself that you can master difficult things through consistent effort. This confidence will spread to other areas of your life. When you know you can do one thing exceptionally well, you start to believe you can do other things exceptionally well too. And you're right, excellence is a transferable skill. The habits that make you excellent in one area will make you excellent in other areas. Let me tell you what your life will look like 5 years from now if you start applying these principles today. You'll be someone others look up to. You'll be someone others come to for advice. You'll be someone who creates value wherever you go. You'll be someone who makes a difference, but more importantly, you'll be someone you're proud to be. You'll wake up each day knowing that you're living up to your potential. You'll go to bed each night knowing that you gave your best effort. You'll have the satisfaction that comes from knowing you're not wasting the gifts you've been given. What matters is that you start. What matters is that you apply the principles of excellence to whatever you choose. Be consistent with small actions. Learn like your life depends on it. Pay attention to details others ignore. Master your emotions during the process. Practice with purpose. Think like a professional, even if you're just starting out. Remember, excellence is not about being perfect. Excellence is about being better today than you were yesterday, and better tomorrow than you are today. It's about continuous improvement, consistent effort, and unwavering commitment to doing your best work. Here's something I want you to write down and put somewhere you'll see it every day. I am committed to excellence in everything I do. Not perfection, excellence. There's a difference. Perfection is impossible and will paralyze you. Excellence is achievable and will energize you. Every morning when you wake up, make this your first thought. How can I do things a little better today? Every evening before you go to bed, ask yourself, what did I do today that moved me closer to excellence? These simple questions will transform your daily experience and your long-term results. Let me tell you what will happen to the people around you when you start living this way. They'll notice. Excellence is magnetic. People are drawn to those who do things well. Your family will be proud of you. Your colleagues will respect you. Your friends will admire you. But most importantly, you'll respect yourself. Here's the truth about time. It's going to pass whether you use it well or not. 5 years from now, you'll be 5 years older. The question is, will you also be 5 years better? Will you have 5 years of growth and improvement behind you? Or will you have 1 year repeated 5 times? The art of doing anything exceptionally well is available to everyone. It's not reserved for the naturally gifted or the professionally trained. It's for anyone willing to apply these principles consistently over time. The question is not whether you can become exceptional. The question is whether you will. The choice is yours. The time is now. Your exceptional life is waiting for you to claim it. So what will it be? Will you continue to settle for average, or will you commit to excellence? Will you make excuses, or will you make progress? Will you think like an amateur, or will you think like a professional? The art of doing anything exceptionally well starts with a single decision, the decision to never again settle for less than your best. Make that decision today and watch your life transform in ways you never thought possible. Excellence is not a destination. It's a way of traveling. Start your excellent journey today.